Geometry 3-4, equations of lines. So one equation that we use is called slope-intercept form. And slope-intercept form looks like this: y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So here's an example. Y equals 3x plus 8. My slope is 3. My y-intercept equals 8. At my y-intercept, that is where x equals 0. So if we were to show this as a point, it would be 0, 8. We also have point slope form. Point slope form looks like this: y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1, where m is the slope, and this x1 and this y1, these are the components of a point. So here's an example of what that might look like. If I'm given a slope that's -2 and a point that's 3, 5, I'm going to use this to write point slope form. So I'm going to label x1, y1, and then I'm going to say y minus y1, which is 5, equals my slope, which is -2, times x minus x1, which is 3. And then I'm going to go ahead and simplify this. So I'm going to rewrite the y minus 5. I'm going to distribute this -2 in here, so -2x plus 6. Then I'm going to add 5 to both sides. Y equals -2x plus 11. Notice how I've solved this for y, and I now have my slope-intercept form. So I've got my slope again here, which I already knew, and now I have my y-intercept right there. So point slope form can bring you into slope-intercept form. Now, we are going to write an equation and graph. Alright, so we are given for this first example, my slope is 3, my y-intercept...
Please come to the office. Hildy Lizarraga, please report to the high school office.
Y-intercept is -2. So I've got this information, so I can write my equation in slope-intercept form. Y equals 3, that's my slope, x minus 2. My intercept, my y-intercept is -2, so -2. Now we're going to write down 4 steps that we're going to use. Step 1, plot the y-intercept. All right, let's draw our graph. Let's try to be as clear as we can with these units. Okay, so my y-intercept is -2, so I look at my y-axis and I go to -2. When x is 0, y is -2, so I have a point here that is 0, -2. That's my y-intercept. Step 2. Step 2 is write slope as a fraction. And draw arrows. Okay, so here's my slope is 3, and my fraction for 3 would be 3 over 1. And then since the 3 is positive, I'm going to go up, and since the 1 is positive, then I'm going to go to the right. The numerator is up and down, the denominator is left and right. All right, step 4. Step 3, I should say. Plot 3-ish points using the slope. All right, so I'm going to start at my y-intercept. I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, to the right 1. Up 3 to the right 1 using my slope. 1, 2, 3, to the right 1. Now I can also go back and to the left. 1, 2, 3, or down and to the left. And now I draw step 4. Draw a line, include arrows. That line got a little bit messy. Draw a line, include the arrows. There it is. All right, let's do another one. Slope is -1/2. Y-intercept is 8. All right, we're going to do this one together, and then I'm going to give you a U-try. Draw my graph. I'm going to write y equals -1/2 x plus 8. I'm going to find my y-intercept. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right there. And then I'm going to draw my arrows, down 1, to the right 2, down 1, to the right 2, down 1, to the right 2, down 1, to the right 2. There we go. Here's my line. Arrows. And that's it. All right, you try. My slope is -2. Y-intercept is 4. All right. Go ahead and do this and pause and do the work, and then come back. We'll see how you did. Go. All right, let's do the y-intercept first. 1, 2, 3, 4. There it is. Then my slope is -2 over 1, so that's down 2 to the right 1, down 2 to the right 1, down 2 to the right 1, and down 2 to the right 1. Draw a line. Boom. Done. So hopefully your graph looks something like that. Now, if you're not totally sure, like on a test or something, how to use your slope and your y-intercept, though we've done it a bunch of times here, you can always make a t-table, plug in values for x and find out what y is and do several points and then draw a line that way. That way should always work. All right, next we are given the slope and a point. So we're going to use the point slope form for these. So again, we're going to write an equation and graph. So for this first example, we've got the slope is -3/4 and the point is 2, 5. Remember, point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So I'm going to label these first x1 and y1. And I'm going to plug this stuff in here. Now, I'm going to show you two ways to do this. I'm going to show you the point slope form right here, and I'm going to show you the way that I usually do it right here. So let's do point slope form first. Y minus 5 equals the slope, which is -3/4, times x minus x1, which is -2. So I'm going to distribute this -3/4 in there. Y minus 5 equals -3/4 x. Minus a negative here is going to be plus, so that means I get -6/4 minus 6/4. And then, oh, gross. I'm going to change this to from an improper fraction to mixed number. So this is 3. That is 3/2, which is 1.5. Okay. So when I add 5 to each side, that'll make it a little bit easier. So y equals -3/4 x minus, so I've got a -1.5 plus 5, which is -3.5, or +3.5. So that's one way to do this here. I have my equation written, and then we're going to graph it. But let me show you another way to do this. So the way I like to do this, because I don't want to memorize this formula here, y equals mx plus b. Now I know what my slope is. Y equals -3/4 x. I don't know what b is, but I do have a point that I can plug in here, -2 for x and 5 for y. And then I just solve for b. And so 5 equals -2 times -3/4 is +6/4 x plus b. And then, oops, not x, sorry. My -2 is x. Okay, sorry about that. All right, let's keep going. Now I just need to subtract 6/4, which is 1.5, we already said, from each side. And I get 3 1/2 equals b. So, and then I just rewrite this. Y equals my slope, -3/4 x plus 3 1/2. So I just rewrite what I know with that information. So you can use either of these methods, either one, doesn't matter. You should still end up with the same answer, whichever one you feel more comfortable with. Some people find this one way easier. Some people find this one way easier. It's really up to you. I prefer this way, but either way is fine. Either way, let's graph this thing. So my y-intercept is 3.5, so I go up 3.5, 1, 2, 3, and 1/2 is right here. And then I write my slope, that's -3/4, so I go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and then to the right 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I should do that again. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Draw my line. And there I've graphed that line. Notice when my slope is negative, if I'm reading my graph left to right, it's going down, the line is going down. When my slope is positive, as in this case, when I look at my graph from left to right, the line is going up. You try. you've got a slope that is 4 and a point that is -3, -6. All right, pause and get this one done. Get an equation and a line graphed, and we'll get back together and take a look at it. Go. All right, I'm going to use, just for kicks, the point slope form. x1, y1. Y minus y1, which is -6, equals my slope, which is 4, times x minus x1, which is -3. So this becomes plus y plus 6 equals 4x times, this becomes plus, so 4 times 3 is 12. I'm going to subtract 6 from each side. Y equals 4x plus 6. So there's my equation. Now I'm going to graph it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's my y-intercept, 0, 6. And then my slope is up 4 to the right 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, right 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right 1. There is my line. Done. All right, last little section here is going to be when you have 2 points. Okay, here's an example. I'm given 2 points, 0, 3, and -2, -1. So I'm going to label these x1, y1, x2, y2. I don't have the slope yet, but I know how to get the slope. The slope is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 we looked at last lesson. So y2 is -1 minus y1, which is 3. x2 is -1 minus 0. So that becomes -4 over -2, which is positive 2. So that's my slope. So if I start writing my equation, y equals 2x plus b. I don't know what b is yet, but I can plug it in. Oh, I do know what b is. Look, they gave it to us here. When x is 0, y is 3. So that means I know that my y-intercept is positive 3. That was nice of them. All right, let's graph this thing. All right, my y-intercept is 3, 1, 2, 3, there we go. And my slope is 2 over 1, up 2 to the right 1, up 2 to the right 1. I could also go down 2 to the left 1, 1, 2 left, and then there we go. My line, pop, looks good. All right. Now, let's see, if we have, let's say we do a U-try that is 1, 4, and -3, 0. I also am going to remind you that parallel lines, their slopes are equal, like y equals 2x plus 3, y equals 2x minus 5. Perpendicular lines, slopes are opposite reciprocals. So they would be y equals 4x minus 2 or y equals -1/4 x plus 5 would be examples of that. All right, here's your U-try. This is just a little reminder down here at the bottom I have from my notes from last time. Go ahead and do this U-try based on this other example we just did. Write your equation and graph it. Go. All right, here we are. x1, y1, x2, y2. I'm going to find my slope. So my slope is y2, which is 0, minus y1, which is 4. x2, which is negative 3, minus 1. And that becomes negative 4 over negative 4. So my slope is 1. Now I'm going to find my y-intercept. I'm going to say y equals my slope, which is 1, times x plus b. I'm going to plug in this one, my y2, which is 0, and my x2, which is negative 3. And so I have got 0 equals negative 3 plus b. Add 3 to both sides. B equals 3. My equation is y equals 1x plus b, which is 3. So I don't write the 1 there because it's just 1x. Now I'm going to graph this. I go up to 3, 1, 2, 3, put my point there, that's my y-intercept, then I go up 1 to the right one, up 1 to the right one, draw my line, and I have graphed the u-tri, and that is the end of 3-4.